President Thomas Jefferson relished small government, but his aspirations for the nation were enormous. In 1802, he faced a foreign relations challenge that shaped the destiny of the Republic. At the time, the United States commanded only a fraction of the North American continent. The rest was controlled by foreign powers. The area north of the Great Lakes was owned by Great Britain, which claimed title to the Oregon Country in the Pacific Northwest as well. Florida, Mexico, and most of the Southwest, including California, was Spanish-owned territory. And the continent's expansive interior, a territory known as Louisiana, had recently been acquired by France as part of a secret treaty with Spain. News of this treaty alarmed Americans, and with good reason. The territory included the Mississippi River and the port of New Orleans, which were vital to the frontier economy. Secretary of State James Madison spoke for the farmers and traders whose livelihoods depended on the waterway.
The Mississippi is to them everything. It is the Hudson, the Delaware, the Potomac, and all the navigable rivers of the Atlantic states formed into one stream.
President Jefferson feared that sharing the continent with France might lead to war. Seeking to avert a conflict, he instructed his diplomats to offer $10 million for New Orleans and surrounding coastal lands. But even as negotiators were meeting in Paris, France presented a surprising new proposal. A disastrous slave revolt in the French Caribbean and an ongoing war with Great Britain convinced French ruler Napoleon Bonaparte to sell big. Napoleon offered the United States not just New Orleans, but the entire territory of Louisiana, some 828,000 square miles, for the sum of just $15 million. Sensing a historic bargain, the American diplomats, Robert Livingston and James Monroe, quickly agreed. Most Americans welcomed the Louisiana deal, but some considered it foolish or even unconstitutional. The prominent Federalist Fisher Ames criticized the acquisition, saying,
"We are to give money of which we have too little, for land of which we already have too much."
Even President Jefferson, an ardent supporter of limited government, had reservations. But recognizing its great significance to the future of the country, he reluctantly signed the treaty, reasoning,
"By a reasonable and peaceable process, we have obtained in 4 months what would have cost us 7 years of war, 100,000 human lives, 100 millions of additional debt."
In December 1803, France officially ceded control of the Louisiana Territory to the United States. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the nation and secured land for more than a dozen future states. It ensured transportation access to the Mississippi River and the Gulf of Mexico. And it provided a seemingly endless supply of timber and other natural resources. Perhaps most importantly, the territory represented a fertile valley of democracy, where the blessings of liberty and freedom could spread and flourish.